Cool. Great. Thank you, everybody, for coming out here. We appreciate everyone coming out. My name is Grayson Barnett. I'm going to be your moderator today. I'm the former president of the Young Democrats of North Carolina. I was also served as the Western Regional Director, and I'm not a voter in the 5th District, so I have no stake in this. I am a voter in the 5th District, not the 11th, excuse me. So I'm going to try to be as unbiased as I can up here. We're going to try to get some answers out of these fine people sitting to my left here. What we're going to start off with is we're going to do a quick 5-minute introduction. We've asked the candidates to answer the following question in their opening statement, which is, only one of you is a current elected official, and I'm only aware of one of you running for office before. What made you want to run for Congress? And if this is your first time running, please tell us what about this office attracted you to run. Additionally, what sets you apart from your fellow Democrats in this primary, and what makes you uniquely qualified for this office?
Hey everyone, how's it going?
Woo.
It is so inspiring to see so many Democrats all in one place, especially on a beautiful fall day like this. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you, it's an honor to be here, and thank you for your consideration in this race. My name is Bo Hess. I am a candidate for North Carolina's District 11. I'm a proud licensed clinical social worker, addiction specialist, law enforcement trainer, community advocate, and been showing up for my community for the past 20 years. And I'm in this race because I think more everyday working people should be in Congress. And probably like some of you guys, I was really frustrated with government and the way things were going. Politicians on both sides of the aisle, Democrats and Republicans. And I was tired of having really great ideas and hearing, Bo, you just need to have the political will. Well, I decided I'd step up and I would be that political will. You know, I'm running for the dad in Buncombe County who said, I can't go to the park with my children without hearing gunshots in the distance, or seeing an open air fight, or having to clean up used needles. He said, I wish I could enjoy my community and be with my children in safety. And I said, me too, you know? And I'm also running for the person who is struggling for substance use, giving the voice to a voiceless and making sure they have the resources that they need and the treatment they need so that we can all, including animals, live in harmony and peace and safety. I'm running for the woman in Haywood County, right, who said, Bo, I'm looking out at all the devastation around me, and I wish that there were politicians in DC that would take the climate crisis as seriously as it needs to be taken, especially for us here in these mountains. And I said, me too. I'm running for them, and I am running for all of you. And this race is not about one person. This race is not about Madison Cawthorn. This race is about us and making sure that we have a seat at the table, making sure that we're not left behind for the next generation. You know, I've never asked my patients, is there a Republican or Independent or Democrat next to your name? But I have shown up to work every day and put practical solutions to their everyday problems. We need someone with the forethought, who is future-oriented, with the edge, who can go up against Madison Cawthorn and not play nice. And that's exactly what you can expect from me as your representative in Congress. This campaign has 4 pillars: safety in our community and streets, addressing the climate crisis, the dignity of work and a living wage, and affordable mental health and health care for everybody. Mental illness will be the #1 cause of mortality in the next 20 years, and we must have a candidate that understands and has been in the trenches with the people, not sitting on some high perch. In the trenches with the people of WNC every day, solving problems. Go to our website, check us out, join our movement. We have the volunteers, we have the staff, we have the team ready. We're on the ground every day, knocking on doors, calling people, sending out text messages, doing interviews, and on day 1 of winning this election, we will be ready to get to work for the people of WNC. Check us out, bohess.com. Thank you so much. Thank you.
next up.
So, I come from a military family. Both my parents are Republicans, voted for Trump, and something that my dad says is family first. We're all Americans, and we all want the same things. We want safety, we want purpose, we want to love, to be loved. And I'm a social worker. We meet people where they're at. I'd be frustrated too if I was looking at the way things are going. You know, it just so happens that some people fall on one side of the line or the other. But we treat everybody with respect. We treat everybody with dignity. It doesn't matter what you've done or where you've come from. Most of my patients in private practice are first responders or law enforcement. Guess what? They're also registered Republican. Do I show up any differently for those patients than I would a registered Democrat? No. You know, I led as a board member of the North Carolina Harm Reduction Coalition, that organization and agency going from $250,000 to a $3.5 million agency that it is today, passing the most progressive laws for substance users in the nation that are today actually used as a model for the rest of the nation for their harm reduction laws. This was during a Republican governor, Republican House, and a Republican Senate. I know a lot about working together, reaching across the aisle, finding common ground, and moving towards that common vision. Thank you. Yes, thank you for the question. So I think the three most important things in the Build Back Better plan are going to be lower healthcare costs and prescription costs for the people of WNC. You know, I'm in the healthcare field. I work at the hospital. This is something that is so important to almost every single person I know of in the district. It doesn't matter what political affiliation you are. The second thing is making sure that we have the making sure that families in America have the resources they need to go to work and provide for their families, so that we, again, can compete in the future. We know the data suggests that for every dollar that is spent, we keep a child from being, every dollar that is spent in assistance to a family, we keep a child out of prison, we keep them in a job, and we keep them having lower or fewer healthcare and mental health care stuff 20 years down the line. Investing in our WNC families. And then, of course, lower taxes and taxing the billionaire elite rich. I think that is far overdue. The working people should not be paying more in taxes than our billionaire elite. And so those are the three most important things that I think that we can do now in the Build Back Better plan to fight for the people of WNC.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yes. So to make healthcare more accessible and affordable, there are some things, concrete things that we can do as we build up the infrastructure to providing healthcare, and especially affordable healthcare for everybody. These include expanding team-based care. A lot of data suggests that when we have a team-based approach, a psychiatric nurse, doctor, primary care physician, a social worker, we have much better outcomes. Making sure that all current healthcare providers are actually practicing at the top of their license. We have many people who are not practicing at the top of their license, whether they be MDs, RNs, licensed clinical social workers, licensed psychologists, and so forth, and making sure that every healthcare worker is practicing to the top of their license. Also, making sure that the healthcare field is attractive to people in high school and in college. So that means making sure that we're not addressing tuition in our universities, not saddling the next generation with loans that can never be repaid. Making sure that we have robust loan forgiveness programs and incentive packages to get providers to our rural networks. Making sure that we provide medical legal partnerships. We know that people who are low income have an average of 2 to 3 legal issues that directly affect health. So making sure that we have a medical legal partnership in every county in the United States of America. Making sure that we have open access, making sure that we have standing orders. That's one thing that North Carolina Harm Reduction Coalition did, was we provided standing orders for every pharmacy in North Carolina so people could get in and get naloxone, which is the overdose reversing drug. And making sure that we have increased R&D in innovative research, including cannabis, MDMA, and psilocybin mushrooms for treatment-resistant depression and PTSD. Again, if you want to know anything about us and our program, come see us, bohess.com. Thank you.
This year, Western North Carolina and communities across the country have felt the brunt of climate change. How will you work in Congress to solve this issue? Will you support a Green New Deal? Why or why not?
All right. Yes, I was out in Haywood County and saw firsthand, spoke with the survivors of the horrendous, devastating floods out there. And I do think that the New Deal actually needs to be, or the Green New Deal needs to be better. I'm a numbers person, I'm a science person. I'm finishing a degree at UNC Chapel Hill in public health and leadership. And we're very outcomes and driven. And so there are some things that I would like to actually have the Green New Deal be more robust and have more teeth. And there are some things that we can do now. First of all, China is dominating the lithium ion industry and production. There's no reason why here in WNC we cannot have the factories that produce those lithium ion batteries. We cannot let China do what they've done with solar and wind energy and start exporting that. We also can move towards a more carbon neutral economy faster, but also making sure that our neighbors in the EU are not at Russia's whim, because Russia is controlling basically all the energy for the EU. So we need to make sure that whatever the plans are, that we're taking care of our friends and allies, because when we are all working together, then we are stronger against a Russia, a China, an India uprising. We can make sure that we have sound farming and production methods so that we're not breeding super bacteria, super viruses, right? The next pandemic is going to be a super virus or a super bacteria that is bred in these huge factory farms. There is a better, more efficient, more sound way to get meat and get our food to our table. Thank you. All right. So it is about access and openness. I am proud to have the most open and accessible campaign of this race. Some of you guys in this audience, actually, I reached out to myself. I said, let's have coffee. Let's have a Zoom meeting. Let's talk about the issues. I'm not afraid to answer the hard questions. This campaign reaches out to every organization, every union, every police department. It does not matter if Transylvania County Sheriff went on the record supporting Madison Cawthorn. We reached out to him. Why? Because we're going to be the representative for everybody. And the Republican chiefs of police that I've reached out to, I've learned a lot from. I've learned what their departments need. I know how I can advocate for them on a federal level. And of course, as a proud social worker, there's no one who knows the resources of this community better than us, right? So you come into my office, I will have a fully staff of exactly what do you need help with, and how can we get you there? And it's about meeting people where we're at. When we are out traveling the district in the rural area, yeah, sure, I get cussed out. Mm-hmm. Sure, I get mocked. Sure, I get told I'm crazy. But that's just an everyday in the life of Bo, and especially where I work. That's normal, right? So that is how being accessible. That card over there is the number I sleep with at night. I mindfully chose that number. Why? Because I'm the most accessible campaign in this race. When you go to my website and it pops up a little, hi, how are you doing? That's not an AI. That's one of us, a staff member or a volunteer that's on the other side of that. So give us our feedback, reach out to us, and we're proud to be in this race. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we're going to go to our final question.
All right, I want to thank you guys again. I know it got a lot more chilly out here, so thank you for staying out. Yes, so as I mentioned before, this campaign reaches out to every single person. I myself, as a registered unaffiliated voter, my values lie more with the Democrats. So to enter this race, I registered as a Democrat. And I think it goes back to not making this about my identity or who I am as a person, you know, what color skin I have or how I identify sexually or my gender. It goes back to the issue, because quite frankly, let's face it, people are not sitting around the dinner table in WNC talking about that stuff. They're talking about whether they can afford the roof over their head or food on their table or whether they have safety in their streets. And so we're running a campaign that is run on the issues that are important to the people of WNC. And we're meeting people where they're at. We're knocking on every door. We are taking every, Zoom call, coffee call, dinner call, lunch date, because even if you don't agree, even if you say right off the bat, and many people have, I'm supporting another candidate, that's great. Why don't you come and sit with me and let's get to know each other, because you never know what may happen. You know, and when we win this race, I want to make sure that I have all those connects that I need to have to make sure that we take it to Congress and win that general. So thank you so much again for all your enthusiasm and support. It's been really inspiring to see you. Join our movement, bohess.com. I look forward to seeing you out on the trail. Thank you.
Thank you, Bo.